Hey, it's Mark Lenny with your video thought for the day. All right, so I had an entire week of video thoughts planned, and I was going to shoot them. And then yesterday at church, a gentleman came up to me and he said, please, please, please do your Trite or True series longer. Go another week with it because it was really enjoyable. So, all right, I'm going to put on hold what I had planned for this week, and I'll think about it next week. But this week, I'm going back to those trite or true phrases that we often hear. And today's trite or true phrase is especially prominent more in Christian circles than probably others, because the Christian proclamation is in it. And here it is. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, trite or true? Well, first of all, let me tell you, it's found in the Bible. Paul put it in Philippians, the 4th chapter. I think it's verse 10, or maybe it's verse 13, but the paragraph starts with verse 10. So yeah, you got to say it's sort of true, but like so many things, it's true within its context. You see, here's the deal. I would love, absolutely love to be able to run a marathon right now. Not just run a marathon and complete 26 point however many miles it is, but do it with like a really good time. I'm talking like 6.5, 7-minute miles. Okay? Now, I can get out there to run that. And I can say till I'm blue in the face, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things. But I am not, at least not in the condition I'm in now, I am not going to be able to run a marathon and even remotely do it with 10-minute miles, for that matter. So what does this phrase mean, and when is this phrase true and when isn't it true? Well, like so many things, we need to, when we're looking at the Bible, we need to look at the context. Paul is writing to a church in Macedonia, think northeast Greece. And it's a church at a town called Philippi. This is a letter that Paul's writing from prison. Most scholars think that he's in a Roman prison. I do as well. But a few really good scholars think he may be in prison in Ephesus. So bottom line, he's in prison. And the Philippians have sent him a gift. That's really important. In an ancient Roman imprisonment, they didn't get 3 square meals a day. A typical Roman prison was a hole in the ground, and you only got food from whoever fed you. Now, if you were in Rome, he'd be able to not necessarily stay at a hole in the ground. He might be out where he's chained to someone if he can afford it, and live in basically slum housing in the city of Rome. But regardless, it's a horrible condition. And Paul has written a thank you note to the Philippians for the gift that they sent him, which is going to help sustain him through his imprisonment. And so he says that he's rejoiced in the Lord that they've sent him this concern. And he says, but, I'm not really saying that I was in need, because he was, but he said, I've learned how to live whether I've got an abundance or not. I've learned how to live when I've got hunger. I've learned how to live when I've got plenty. And so he says the secret to it is he can do all things through Christ who strengthens him. In other words, Paul's saying, I can face what life has before me by the power and strength of God in me. So God in me enables me to face what's before me. That is true. That's uncategorically or unqualifiedly true. We can face anything that life has in front of us if we have God inside us. But the idea that I can do all things out of context, that would be trite. Now, that's your video thought for the day, but I've got to excuse myself because I'm going to try and do 150 push-ups since I can do all things. No, I'll see you tomorrow.